So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Q&A KRSsatsang of the week. I believe this is number 11. So, I took questions actually from my new social media page on Mewe, mewe.com, Mewe, sorry, Mewe, you and me, mewe.com. Just type in KRSchannel in there and I'll show up. So, anyway, I will pick questions from this video. So when you put comments on this particular video, I'll choose from YouTube for next week. Okay, so let's not waste time and let's get started with our Q&A. And also if you want to know where your planetary placements are and all your astrological details, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy, where I'm currently teaching planets through nakshatras. So let's not waste time and let's get started. So the first question comes from Alex Russo. And Alex says, what planetary placements strongly show career in foreign languages and media? Well, that's very, very simple, although could be complicated for newbies. What you want to see is your Karakamsha Lagna, the KL Lagna. And actually, this is something that you get in my report. So when you get the full astrological report from option 5 and beyond, you will see a Gemini astrology page and you will see these different ascendants. KL ascendant, known as Karakamsha Lagna. Whenever from Karakamsha Lagna, you see Ketu in the 5th house, Ketu Venus in the 5th house, Jupiter Venus in the 5th house or the ascendant, including Ketu in the ascendant, a person will actually be very much interested in learning about languages. Now you must be thinking, oh, I thought it was going to be Mercury. Actually, no, it is Ketu. What Mercury shows, when Mercury and Ketu are together, a person will be interested in computer languages, electronic languages. But just Ketu by itself, a person wants to learn foreign languages. Because Ketu, if you realize, is exalted in the 12th house in Pisces, according to certain traditions. 12th house represents faraway foreign lands. So what happens when you go to foreign lands? It's a different culture, different foods, and different language. And Venus also exalts in Pisces, that we know. So whenever Venus comes into the 5th or ascendant, a person gets interested in classical knowledge, classical literature. Okay. Now, as far as media is concerned, 3rd house, especially the Atma Karka and Bhatari Karka, meaning the planet with the highest degree in your birth chart, closest to the 30th degree point, but only in Vedic astrology, planetary concept, and the planet with the 3rd highest degree. When they're together or they aspect each other, especially through sign aspects of Gemini, you will see a person be greatly interested in media, dramatic art, stage performances. Also, cluster of planets in the 3rd house will have a person go into media. 5th house will make them go into media and stage performance. Also, nakshatras like Uttara Falguni, Rohini, even Maga, followed by Uttara Bhadrapada, and God, I know I'm forgetting, Vishaka, Chitra. These are some of the basic nakshatras that you will see out of the 27 nakshatra scheme that will always be interested in, arts and creativity, including Bharani nakshatra actually. They will also be interested in such things. Then, the second question is from Sonali Soni. What is the effect of Saturn Mahadasha along with Sadhisati when Saturn is in Ashwini Nakshatra in the 8th house? Well, first of all, what pada? Because what if in Navamsa Saturn, we don't know if Saturn is in Aries, Taurus, Gemini, or Cancer in Navamsa. Because Ashwini Nakshatra has 4 padas. So if let's say you're in first pada of the Saturn, that means Saturn is what? Saturn is Vargottama. Saturn is in the same sign in the birth chart as the Navamsa chart, which makes Saturn extremely strong. And on the other hand, even if Saturn is Vargottama or Saturn is in some other pada, Saturn is a natural malefic planet. So just because a planet is Vargottama doesn't mean it loses all its malefic influences. No, it doesn't. So what this here shows, delay in children, It shows dealing with, you probably won't even have a great relationship with your in-laws or spouse's family. It'll just get cut off through marriage, through some drama. You'll also see with Saturn in the 8th house, one will have to deal with a lot of constipations. Also, a lot of joint issues, especially in the lower region of the body. Like especially the Achilles and the knee, and the region below the knee, you will see will be greatly affected. But again, this is also a particular placement of a person who can win lottery, who can suddenly have windfall of wealth. And at the same time, this person will have a major karma with their own family. Family in general becomes a bit of a doozy. Person just cannot find a balance, whether it's their own family or spouse's family. Now, they can have a great marriage, but also you got to realize when family relations are not good with either side, marriage will suffer. And 8th house being the house of married life, a person does feel this dryness within their marriage, this bleakness within their marriage. But again, if it's Vargottama, it'll give excellent results in his dasha, and specifically in terms of one getting monetary gains. It'll still have malefic effects, but it'll do much better, helping you sustain yourself. The next question is from Megha Chatterjee. Why does a debilitated sun in Vishaka in the birth chart gets exalted in the D9 in Aries? Well, again, very good question. First of all, Vishaka. Okay, so Libra is the sign where sun is debilitated, but the problem is we always slap the entire zodiac sign being debilitated and deemed. That is not true. It's the padhas that show how that sun is going to be. Is it going to be so bright? Is it going to be low? Is it going to be low? Is it going to be low? Is it going to be at the lowest? So in Vishaka, when sun is debilitated at the 20th degree, which is the Yoga Tara of Vishaka, meaning the actual strongest point in the sky, the star that represents that nakshatra, sun is exalted because of the padha that it's landing in. The first padha of Vishaka is Aries in Navamsa. So whether you have sun, moon, Saturn, any planet in Vishaka at 20th degree, it'll be in the sign of Aries. So sun here simply goes into the sign of Aries, but also you got to understand, Vishaka is Indra. Who is Indra? Indra is the king of kings. Indra is the king of God. Indra is the sun, the one who gets everything, the one who does everything, the one who is unstoppable. So sun is unstoppable. I mean, if you threw all the nuclear weapons on sun that Earth has right now, sun will be like, this is like snack for me. This is like lunch. I love it. Give me more. So this is why sun is actually becomes extremely powerful when it's in a Yoga Tara of Vishaka. Other Vishaka points, sun kind of like dims out. Sun dims out. But that particular point becomes the brightest. Then it's from Chandra Murli Balakrishnan. Ask me if a person is born in Abhijit Mahurta, will that person not face any adversity and bad cancellation of all the bad yogas and doshas, and a person will excel? That's what pretty much you're trying to say. That's not true. So what is Abhijit Mahurta? It's different from Abhijit Nakshatra. Abhijit Mahurta occurs at the 8th hour of the sunrise, which is pretty much noon. Noon time is Abhijit Mahurta. And Mahurta is usually used to initiate something, to start something, like starting a business, starting, your study of your exams, something. So when a person is born in Abhijit Mahurta, it's like you're initiating a life in that Mahurta. However, it does not cancel any bad yogas in your chart or all the things that you will face in your life. What Abhijit Mahurta shows is that no matter what the circumstances might be, a person will always be able to rise in their life. So for example, I'll give you an example. Although I'm not saying this person has this, just as an example, like for example, you take the actor Sanjay Dutt. Sanjay Dutt was excellent, back in the 80s, early 90s. Then went to jail. All this whole terrorist thing that occurred. And then he came back out and became bigger than ever. That's the type of life they can lead. Now, of course, nobody would want to have life of Sanjay Dutt. You should not have. Even Sanjay Dutt wouldn't want to deal with the things that he has dealt with. But it is his life. So Abhijit shows that it's war. Because Krishna took out Abhijit constellation. He just blew the whole sun up. Hundreds and millions of light years away. And, so what this particular Muhurta represents is the war. Because Mahabharata was going to be starting in this particular time period. And it didn't. So it really shows that a person will have to deal with battles, but they will come out of it. Then the next question is from Sean Brooks. Does being born from a sperm donor means that you become sperm donor means that becomes your father in the chart, or is your father that one was there when you were growing up? Very good question. So no, if let's say you were born through a sperm donor, then that person is your biological father. You took their DNA, you took their karma, and you were born through that lineage. That is your father. But a stepfather, the one who comes up during that time, is also just as important. And especially to understand that father, look at the 7th directly opposite nakshatra from the sun and study Rahu. Rahu is a stepfather, and Rahu is also directly or directly opposite from the sun, the 7th house from the sun, and that nakshatra at that particular degree will represent your stepfather. Okay. Then the other question is from Ariash A. Which nakshatra has more important in a person's life, ascendant or moon? Both nakshatras are just as important. Ascendant becomes your dharma, moon becomes your past life record and the past life things that you have to deal with. Now, if you ask me my personal choice, definitely Ascendant Nakshatra has the whole path laid out for you. Okay. Then the last question is from Maya Ambati. How do we understand a debilitated planet getting directional strength? For example, Sun debilitated in Libra in the 10th house of Navamsa chart. Okay. Okay. 10th house of Navamsa chart. Well, that's very simple. And it's conjunct Mars, you said. So, first of all, in Navamsa, if a planet is debilitated, it's considered weak. It is weak. But because it's in the 10th house and finds direction, shows that you will face adversity, you will face issues with the bosses, and the image of the marriage will have tremendous amount of ups and downs. Like people will try to discourage you from being with that person. People will think of you as a very aggressive, fighting type couple. But because it has direction strength, shows you will be able to steer through all the issues within the context of marriage or context of life. You will deal with hard bosses, you will deal with, ups and downs in career, but you will always come out of it. And at one point, you yourself will be that boss. And even then, you'll have these obstacles and opposition, but you yourself will become that boss. So that is the answer to that question. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my Q&A for the week. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to get your question answered, comment below and I'll pick it for next week. Otherwise, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.